He's still
Wow.
connecting his audio though. Okay. All right, guys. So COVID, let's go ahead and get started. Today's a team meeting, March 3rd, 2021. Like always, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the house cleaning items first. First item is COVID-19 update. So as of this morning, this is an article that came out this morning that the Orange County could move into the less restrictive red tier as early as Tuesday. Now, I don't know about you guys, but nowhere else on planet Earth have I ever found a less restrictive color code than red. So the fact that it's a less restrictive going red, I think they really dropped the ball on or increased the amount of confusion. But I mean, isn't that what government's for, is to cause mass confusion? But anyways, what that means, so to get to the red tier, the county has to have a case rate per 100,000 populations of 4 to 7. A positivity rate of 5 to 8%, and a health equity quartile of 5.3 to 8. Now, if you're like me, that meant absolutely nothing. But what the red tier allows is for more businesses and organizations to open. It starts talking about retail stores could allow for half the capacity instead of 25%. We can actually go to a museum, zoo, or aquarium at 25% capacity. And movie theaters, gyms, and restaurants could open. Now, I have no idea to go, no desire to go to a gym for people to sweat and breathe on me, but you know, the less restrictive tier, I didn't like that when there was no quartile. You know, go up to a sweaty bench that you have to wipe down because no one taught someone how to do it themselves.
So the fish are okay at aquariums? We're okay with this?
Yeah, I don't think that fish get COVID.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sure that they found some sort of mammal that got COVID, but not too entirely sure. But we're going to a red tier, the less restrictive red tier, which means, I don't know. Purple is supposed to be the worst, which is where we just came from. How they got purple being the worst, I don't know. They should have just stuck with the green, yellow, red, maybe an orange. Anyways. I do want to just give another shout out to the adjustments of our team. So for those of you guys that are coming into the office, you guys see some new faces. Dale is the operating principal. Sky has moved into working with Lindsay to help get, to help keep the office operating and more importantly, get your guys' checks out really, really fast. Anastasia, AKA Annie. She's our new agent services coordinator, and Steele Langland. So depending on what color shirt he wears is so today he's blue steel. Yesterday you were blue steel. Today what color shirt are you wearing today, Steel? Gray steel. So now he's aluminum steel today. So anyways, you guys are going to see these smiling faces. I hope they're smiling, but Dale's always smiling. When you wake up in the morning in a low inventory environment, and you have people just lined up to have you take their listing, that's going to keep you smiling.
It's a tough job, but someone has to do it.
Yeah, it may as well be you.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, guys. So those are the changes to the staff. I do want to wish the birthdays. Nobody was born in the first half of March, but we got Jessica on. Barb's birthday is this week. This month. You better remember it. Chun Lu, Nancy Maurer, Anna Zhang, Mary is Ben on here. Ben, your mom's birthday is this month. You better not forget about it. Mona, Elsa.
I already ordered something.
That's a good son. We're on the second. You're 20 days early. God, back when I'd be lucky if I was 20 minutes early. I was usually 20 minutes late. Elsa Sue, Bruce Silverman, Russell Santos, one of our new agents into it. Birthday is on the 28th. And Mary Danley. So happy birthday to the coming months. I'll most definitely make these announcements the week of as well. Now let's talk about the congratulations, people who did some closings. So we got Michael May. He hammered out a few listings in the last week, 25541 Saddle Rock and Laguna Hills, and one on Pineview and Irvine. Hannah Park closed a deal in Laguna Niguel, Berkshire Court. We've got Joey Finrow, who went up to Fullerton, closed a deal, Jin Rowe and Laura Chang. So congratulations, you guys. It's not easy with
Well
low
done.
inventory. So here's what I want to do today. I'm going to talk to you guys about the numbers, and it's crazy. I'm starting to do this each week because each week it's like changing. And so we have the preliminary February numbers in. So it's not going to, remember, these are dynamic numbers. So they're not going to start becoming more, there's not going to be as many changes. Around the 15th is when they're going to be more static, but it kind of gives you an idea of where February ends up, and it'll just keep adjusting as we continue to go. But let's go through the just listed first. So Gigi, are you on here?
I'm right here.
Okay, Gigi just took a new listing that she wants to pitch right there in Santa Ana. So go ahead, Gigi.
Thank you. It's unincorporated Orange County. So it is North Tustin, although all the unincorporated goes by Santa Ana 92705. It's between Orange and Tustin, the cities of Orange and Tustin. It's single story, single level home. It's on a 12,000 square foot lot.
Wow.
About 1,800 square feet, and there's 3 rooms for bedrooms plus living room and dining room. It has hardwood floors and plantation shutters in most of the rooms, and it's mostly original, but it's well taken care of, so it could use some updates. I have a website with all the pictures. It's unbranded, so if anyone wants that, before it goes on the MLS, probably tomorrow on the MLS. And it also has a raised foundation. So if someone wants to remodel or expand, that makes it easier. Has a lot of parking, room for an RV.
And you're putting this on the market at 840,000?
840. It's a probate, and that's what the appraiser, that's what it was appraised at a few months ago. So with the tight market and the things that a lot of homes don't have, you know, with the space and no HOA, no Belarus, for the right person, it'll be a good match.
So guys, anyone who has a buyer for that, and we're going to be diving into the numbers, take advantage of us being a top listing office, because you get the inside scoops on these, which, I mean, and unless you want to go write offers on 15 different properties with a buyer, you know, start working the networks that we have within the office. So, all right, thanks for that, Gigi. If you guys have any questions, just reach out to Gigi directly.
Thank
It's a
you.
great street.
Okay, so the next 2 are already sold. So we're just gonna, Fred said he just listed it and sold them. So this one in Orange, looks like 2 bedroom, 2 bath. And then this one, 4 bedroom, 1 bath in LA. Both are in pending status. So they came on the market. They
4
went to the
bedroom, 1 bath.
4 bedroom, 1 bath. That's great. So Dale, anyone have any things coming up? Any buyer needs or anything you guys want to adjust? Dale, you always have something coming up. You got
I'm going to be listing one of my properties. It's 125 West Joe Loop. It's a 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, single family residence attached. It's one of the Loop homes. It's all been completely remodeled, large yard. It will go very quickly. I cannot put it on the market till April 1. So I want you to all know about it. It's probably going to be around $1,050,000. 125 West Joe Loop.
So number one, you know, the market's crazy when Dale's going to decide to sell one of his investment properties. So there's number one. Number two, you guys have 30 days advance notice that he has a property that's coming up on West Yale Loop to start planning. And I'm sure Dale would be open to having a conversation before April 1st.
Absolutely.
So if you guys have buyers that are, how many bedrooms does it have, Dale?
4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath.
4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, fully remodeled, West Dale
Yes.
Loop, about $1
Yes.
million. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's going to sell relatively quickly.
I'm giving it away.
You're, he's giving it away.
To the highest bidder.
Anyone else have any,
Or a two-story, single or two-story?
It's a 2-story Adams model. All 4 bedrooms are upstairs. And then we also have one in Talise, practically a brand new home. The track just closed out in December, 139 Falcon Crest, and that's going to be coming on about middle of March. And that's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, brand new home. It's about a year old. And that's going to be around $1.05 million as well. $1.01 million, somewhere around there.
all right. Anyone else? Anyone else have some things coming up that you guys want to pitch?
Brett, we have a property. We just actually, we're closing one today, a past client. We're going to be putting their home on the market. It's in Tustin Field. So it's a highly upgraded home, 3-bedroom, 2-story, upgraded with that particular area. It does seem to have a tough parking issue. This has a very large driveway with the 2-car attached garage. So that will, so they're doing a few things, getting it all fixed up and staging it and the whole thing. So it's a little, that'll be coming down the couple weeks, I would say.
Okay.
750 to 800 price range.
750, 800. Awesome. Thank you, Tom. Anyone else? Okay. Few things that I didn't get to make in a slide for that we're going to kind of move into. So Sky's going to talk to you about what we used to call Tech Tuesday. We're going to call it something different. Go ahead, Sky.
Alrighty, so no longer doing the tech classes on Tuesdays just because Tuesdays are getting pretty crazy. So we'll be doing like a tech help kind of a thing on Thursdays.
Tech
But
Thursday.
next week, we are actually going to be doing a command challenge. So there's a 66-day command challenge. Every morning, I'm going to hop onto a live video and I'll post it or something like that. You can do it whenever in the day it works for you. Spend 5-10 minutes on this every day. And in 66 days, you will be able to master command completely by yourself. The Thursday classes will be for if you need any help, kind of like a help desk thing. So if you come across anything in command that you need to go over, that'll be the day to come for it. This week, I won't be in the office. So this week is Ixnay on the computer help A, but it will resume next week. So look out for the command challenge and I will post different things about that.
So the awkward thing on that is that I actually understood what you said with Pig Latin. So I thought that was a little strange. The second thing I wanted to say about that, guys, is we all agreed, at least if you were on this call or people who I typically talk to, that technology is just going to become more and more ingrained in the culture of our society going forward. And everybody needs to have a digital strategy. So one of the reasons as Dale took over the operating principal role and we discussed expanding our staff was to allow Sky to have the time to really help each one of you guys get your technology implemented. Now, she was doing like 3 jobs before. I was kind of against it. I thought that she could totally do 4. She's a hard worker. I'm kidding. But I'm going to talk to you guys about the numbers. And after we talk about the numbers, I'm going to talk to you guys about some different ideas on how to take listings. Some of you guys who talk to me fairly often or in the office, a friend of mine quoted one time, and I shared this with Dale and some others, is if you're in real estate and you don't have a listing right now, you're kind of unemployed because there's so few listings right now. Even if you have a buyer, the value of a buyer isn't what it used to be. Now, a buyer that has a bunch of cash in the bank that is willing to spend 20% over market value, that's the new kind of buyer that everybody's looking for, right? Like Dale Chima, for instance. So we're going to talk about that. But as far as Tech Tuesday, she's gone. She's going back to Philly for a wedding. She's going to come back. We're going to jump into a 66-day challenge or a 66-point challenge. You don't have to just do one thing a day, but if you did just one thing a day in 66 days, you're going to be so much further ahead than the average competition in our marketplace that it's not even going to be funny. So make sure that you guys type in and we'll get more of the stuff out to that with that. To piggyback on top of that, you're going to start seeing an increase in the training calendar coming in, both for the new agents that are coming on board. We have a new agent program that we're about ready to launch. In addition to that, we're going to be providing additional specialized training. Now, I call specialized training that you don't get from every single real estate company on planet Earth, right? So we're going to talk about really diving in on how to utilize technology to generate leads. And we're not just going to say, hey, just go do some Facebook ads. It's not like that. One of the things that I wanted to do maybe next week is to work with you guys on how to develop out a profile funnel to get everything on your guys' social media networks, all the branding all together, and be able to put that into a funnel to whereas you can start generating leads from that way. So that's one of the classes I'm going to put up that you don't see coming out much. So just a heads up on that. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about profit share. Last year, we paid out over $233,000 out in profit share back to the agents. $233,000. Hey, Nancy, where you came from, the prior broker, did you ever have a chance where you got to split the profit with the owner? No? That's one of the reasons why she came here. But after everything's been paid, after rent's been paid, after Dale signs all the commission checks, 48% of everything gets paid back out. Now, we're not trying to turn everybody into recruiters, and we're not trying to increase our agent culture with just a bunch of bodies. We really want to focus on the cream of the crop and helping people grow and expand and adjust their business. But if you guys come across a real estate agent that you feel that would be a good fit for us, pass them on to me, pass them on to Annie, let us run through it. And if in fact they join the office, then what we'll do is make sure that they end up in your profit share tree. And then you can get your piece and start growing up on the portions of the profit, right? So I would have had a really cool slide for that, but ran out of time today. I'll have a really cool slide up for it next week. Now, before we get into the state of the market, who here has heard about everything that's going on with Zillow and showing time? Anyone? Raise your hand. No? Few people? Well, then it's a good thing that I'm bringing it up on today's meeting.
Everyone.
Ben has. I thought I didn't see who said that. I thought it was Jeff that said something. So I was going to say something funny. I got taken off track a little bit. Anyways, here's the Zillow showing thing. So Zillow's buying showing time, which is, for those of you guys that are in the CRMLS, you can actually schedule the time to show a property using showing time. And there's all kinds of crazy concern about Zillow buying showing time and what they're going to do and what they're going to do with the data. So this is an announcement that came out. It should have hit your email inbox, but I read them because of what I do. But, most of the time I don't read a lot of things. But it says in summary, showing time must follow existing data privacy policies. This includes not sharing any MLS information with any stockholder of the company, including Zillow. In the existing contract CRMLS has a showing time, the vendor has affirmed that they are not sharing or providing any data to Zillow or any other third party. Change of ownership will not change that obligation. And then it also says, should showing time break the agreement, we're out of here. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And then in bold, we are working to provide our users with more product choice, which to me, that's like code, like saying, okay, well, their days are numbered. They're jumping in with Zillow. We're not down with that. And as soon as the contract's up, we're going to go do something else. That's what I'm reading through this. So I wanted to just bring that to light just because it's kind of the hot topic right now. I mean, Zillow's always kind of the hot topic. They're the ones that everybody loves to hate. Better them than me. Okay, any questions on that before we jump into the state of the market? All right. Okay, so this is a slide deck that I went over last week. This is January. And I didn't delete this and put it up because I wanted to see what February looked like. So we might be switching back and forth on this. So February state of the market, Orange County, new listings, 2,634, down 16.5%. Active listings down 28.8%. Pending sales down 38.2%. Closed sales for February up 10.5. Days on market. Well, let's look at what February was on that. Closed sales up 23.8 in January. A month later, up 10.5%. So it's really awesome that that's a positive number, but look at the difference, 23.8 to 10.5. And this kind of goes into what I've talked about is that everything you always want to look at the pending home sales to see where the puck's going to be in 30, 45 days. Days on market, 9 days. Month supply, 1.7 months. Median sales price in Orange County, 825, and the average sales price is 1.18, 1.118-ish, up 10.7%, up 18.7. Now, as far as Irvine, if we look at new listings, 312 new listings came onto the market, up 4.7%. So that's a number that we want to look at with as more or more properties come onto the market. That's something we want to look at.
I don't think it's screen sharing.
I'm not screen. I went through that whole thing with no one telling me that.
Your voice is so great.
I sound like Nick Carter. That's what my wife's sister told me years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's laughing. So like, yeah, I totally hear that. Okay, so here's the slide. Active listings currently for as of February, 503. So down 17%. So we saw new listings come up, but we're still 17% down year over year. Pending home sales, 147, down 32.9%. Closed sales up 18.4. Let's look at this. Closed sales up 16.5, but pending home sales 241. But now see that difference that we went from pending home sales in January from 241 up 8.6, pending home sales 147 down 32.9. Like now again, this is a dynamic number that's going to adjust and probably plateau somewhere around mid-month. But that kind of gives you an idea. Days on market, 13. Average month supply, 2.1. So if no new homes came onto the market, right, and 312 did last month, if no new homes came onto the market, we just deplete our whole inventory in 2 months. Like what we talked about last week, according to NAR, according to Dale Chima, is that a normal market is 6 months. So we're still very heavy into a seller's market. Sales price up 10.4% from median sales price 892, average sales price 1.158. Interestingly is that, these two numbers are getting pretty close to each other. Like when I looked at this, like back in June, the median sales price in Orange County was like 750. It's almost up 100 grand just in 6 months. So what does this tell you? So what are some of the numbers that come up to tell you? Nancy, what do you think? What are these numbers speaking to you about? Oh crap.
Okay.
Hey, Brett.
Oh, wow.
Printing company.
Oh,
There we go.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
So
The new listings are down a little bit from last month.
Yep.
The pending sales, doesn't it seem like they're down also from last
Yeah.
month or not?
So here's the thing with that is when we're looking at pending sales,
Uh-huh.
let's say pending sales 1,410 for February, and pending sales in Irvine is 147. So 1%, 10%, 10%.
I was thinking of
February.
February. I'm compared to February. Is it the same
You mean
basically? or-
January?
I thought it was more.
So pending home
Yep.
sales in January was
Right.
2,241. So we're seeing even fewer pending home sales. in
That's
the
what
two
I,
markets,
yeah, right. That's what I
Which
saw.
equates to the numbers of listings that are coming onto the market
Mhm.
as well,
Right.
right? We're down 17, 20, 24% in Orange County. And so really what this is saying,
Mhm.
it's hard to get listings right now,
Yes.
unless you're Dale Chima,
Attest to that right now.
because all he has to do is go to bed and wake
But
up. in the
Dale's
morning.
got them all.
Yeah,
Darn.
he just needs to wake up.
Hey, Brett, question for you.
Okay.
What's the difference for all those people out there? What's the difference between median and average sales price? What's the difference?
So you guys like how Jeff asked a question by him not asking a question? He's like, oh,
I'm asking,
okay.
I'm
so-
asking for a
so
friend.
Asking for a friend? Gibson Jeff? Gibson Jeffs? So for those of you who don't know the difference between median sales price and average sales price, let's say that we had 244 closed sales in Irvine. So the median sales price would be the exact half of that, 122. That's where the median sales price is. Whereas the average sales price, you take all the sales volume that 244 created and you divide it by 244, and that gets you your average. The reason why I don't really focus a whole lot on average, because we live in Orange County. Like one $10 or $20 million house can actually finally close, and that just totally jacks up the whole average
Right.
sales price. You know, when Dale decides to sell his house, that's going to screw up the whole county. So
I'm not
so-
selling, so don't worry about that.
he's only selling his rentals, and probably to buy other rentals.
There you go.
So Brett, it's better than to go off for price is median, is what you're saying?
You know, you want to look at both. My position when it comes to real estate agents is, the average buyer and seller transact every, they say like every 9-10 years. I think it's probably higher than that in Orange County, probably, especially as you go up, first time home buyers are going to turn over much faster than
Mhm.
a move up home. But as the experts in the market, I think you need to know both. And the reason why you need to know both is because not every consumer communicates using the same numbers as everyone else. Just like I just broke down the median and the average sales price.
Mhm.
If you go into a consumer and you're having a conversation with them and they're starting to talk about average sales price, and then you automatically start going into the median sales price, you're disconnected
Okay.
already in the way that you're having that conversation. So you'd want to be able to adjust with them on the average sales price, and they'd say something along the lines, but what you really want to look at in today's market is really what's going on with the median sales price. Do you mind if I tell you why? And they're going to go, why? Right? Two big things that you guys have probably heard me preach a lot. And in this market, it's probably more important than ever. It's important for all salespeople. But the two most important things in any sales job is leads and sales skills. Having leads and then having the ability to turn those leads into clients. That should be everybody's primary mission. Sales. Yes, it's awesome going and looking at properties. Yes, it's awesome doing a market analysis and doing this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, what pays you, what enables you to earn a living is the ability to generate leads and to close them. That's in its most simplest form. Like take title, for instance. I've decided that I'm going to start coaching Jeff Gibson on a weekly basis to teach him how to sell because he's horrible. Kidding, Jeff.
Hey, I'm just asking for a friend.
Just asking for a friend. Okay, so how do we get more listings? Who wants to know how to get more listings? Anyone? Okay, careful what you wish for. I got some ideas, got a whole list. Some of them are traditional that always work. Some of them are traditional that Del Chima built his career on to where he just has to wake up in the morning. Others are, we're going to tie into a modern twist that ties into Sky's 66 command challenge. So number one, I already talked about this. Leads and skills are the two most important things in any sales professional's life. Can anyone think of anything that's more important than generating a lead and closing it, converting it? Anything more important?
No.
Nope. And that's straight from Dale. Circle prospecting, just listed and just sold. Okay, one of the Mike Ferry scripts that was ingrained in me, and it's also a Keller Williams script, is when you talk to just listed and just sold, and it really comes true. We know that when a property is listed or a property is sold, that typically one or two come onto the market in a very reasonable amount of time, right? The key here is to identify people who own homes that live in your, and I'll talk about this in a second, your primary market area, and who want to sell them. Well, you can talk to Mary and you can talk to Jeff and you can find out who the homeowners are. You can get data points for that. You can get the data. What we need to find out is if they want to sell. And sometimes, a lot of times, you know, you're going to get the same objection that I get when I talk to real estate agents. I'm happy with where I'm at. I don't want to move. I get that all the time. You're going to get that when you're actually working with people and selling. Say, look, I totally get that you're happy with where you're at, but with where the market's at, if you could sell your home for more money than it's ever been worth in the history of planet Earth, is that something that you would even consider? History of planet Earth. I mean, seriously, home prices haven't been, well, I think Dale said they were pretty high back in February of did you say February of 04, Dale?
04. It was like this, very similar to this.
Wasn't this high.
No, the prices were not this high. The demand was like this, not the
demand.
prices.
Yeah. So people say that there is a housing shortage. Guys, walk out your front door. There's not a housing shortage. There's a shortage of listings. Big difference, right? If we're seeing that, if we go back to these numbers right here, if we're seeing in Orange County that our active listings are down, let's just call it 25%, down 25% year over year. That's 25% of the listings that would normally have been here had we not been going through all this, whatever it is that we're going through. You know, if we didn't have COVID, then chances are we would probably be on par with where we were last year. So there are people out there who would consider selling their home. They probably lack the information of what they need. We just need to find them. So circle prospecting. Now, circle prospecting right now, traditional sales activities, telephone prospecting, door knocking, open houses. Okay. Open houses and door knocking pretty much are off the table still, unless you go get yourself a yellow hazmat suit and you go knock onto it. Remember, you guys ever remember Back to the Future when he scared his dad? You could show up to the door like that and it still won't get opened. But telephone prospecting, you know, starting out with a small farm. I know that Mary has been talking to some of our agents about how to create a small farm. And we're all on the same thing. Don't bite off on a 10,000 house farm. Start off small, be very niche-y, right? But there's business to be done there. For sell by owners. For sell by owners are the only people that I've ever come across that defy logic, because every homeowner that I've ever talked to wants to sell their home for the most money in the least amount of time with the least amount of hassle. Dale, have you ever met a homeowner that doesn't want to sell their home for the most money, the fastest, with least amount of hassle?
Never met one.
No, only for sell by owners want to sell their home in the longest amount of time with the least money, with the most amount of hassle. That's it. But they just don't know. I haven't even looked. Nancy, are you looking at the number of for sale by owners that are coming up on the list? Do you watch that? Yeah. Very competitive space. Same thing with expired listings. I think I saw Christine, you work that space. How many for sale by owners and expireds are you seeing come up?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What are we talking about?
For sale by owners, because I know that you're calling for sale by owners. I know you're calling on expired listings.
Yeah.
what are you, what are you finding? Is there a lot of them each day? A lot of them each month?
I feel like there's less expireds but more FISBOs lately. I saw a lot this morning. A bunch in like Mission Viejo popped up.
Really? So guys, why do you think in this market that you get a lot of for sale by owners pop up? Anyone have a hypothesis?
I don't think they believe they need an agent. They believe that my house will sell itself. I don't need an agent. Every house is selling in a matter of days. Why do I need to pay a commission?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Nancy, is it easier to sell a house with one offer, or is it easier to sell a house that has 20?
Well, I'd prefer to sell one and the client will get more money with 20 offers.
Well, yeah. Well, so here's my point. For sell by owners, look, they're uneducated about the market. All they are is looking at dollar signs. They're not taking into, they're looking at how much they can sell their home for, and they're looking at our commission. They're not looking at all the gnarly things that go on in between.
Right.
Have one for sell by owner try to navigate all the showings and to get 20 offers, right? There are some agents who can't handle getting that many offers, right? It takes a full-time commitment. But reaching out and talking to for sale by owners and asking these questions, you know, what are you going to do if you get 20 offers? How are you going to manage that? Do you have a full-time job? Yeah, I do have a full-time job.
Can I ask Dale, so what's your objection handler? I'm going on an appointment at 2 and I've been following up a long time, and it is exactly what you said. Nancy, the home will sell itself, and she's put her blood, sweat, and tears in it. It was her mom's. It was horrible. So she's emotionally connected, has done the work on it, and she said it will get down to commission. So Dale, the house will sell itself, and it's really going to come down to commission.
You can only negotiate with someone that's willing to negotiate. And I've had those kind of people. I don't care. And some you can sell, you can add the value. Look, this is what I do. You know, I don't know what the other guy does. If he's willing to give his money away that quickly, how easy is it for him to give away yours? So that's one scenario, but I've used that, and the seller has said in a market like this, Dale, I know you're the best, this, that, and the other, but all I'm going to tell you is this is all I'm going to pay. And if you don't like it, the next agent that walks in the door, I know they're going to take it. Now,
and it's a business decision, right?
Exactly. Those kind of guys, there isn't much that you can do, and you have to make that business decision. And if it really is going to sell, which more than likely it is, how much time are you really going to put into it? And you can't always look at the one house. The way I look at it is, how much mileage can I get out of this house? Is it possible that I can double end it? Is it possible that I can use it for farming? And is it possible that I can get other listings out of it? So you can't always look at it as one commission, especially if it's in your farm. Then what could be the damage if another, someone that's a potential, what's the word, working against you, a competitor, what if they get it? How much damage does that do?
Right.
So there's a lot of things to be considered. You have to decide, how valuable is this listing to you, and how badly do you need it? I never look at a listing as a listing. It's what else can I get out of this?
Okay. Thank you.
So Nance, one of the things that I would recommend when you're having that conversation is really do a level shift on them. You know, so when they bring up the commission, you can say, you know what, Nancy, in my experience, most homeowners are looking to get the most money for their house, sell it in the quickest amount of time with the least amount of hassle. Is that true for you as well? And then they're going to say, yes. And then, well, Nancy, all money aside, let me ask you about how you feel about my experience as a real estate agent. So in this market alone, I've sold X amount of homes, and I've sold, you know, I'm an expert at this and that and the other. Do you feel that I have the qualifications, the experience to sell your home?
Yes, I do. But I think it's going to sell itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, most houses do sell themselves. I mean, you know, it's not very difficult to sell a house. What's difficult is the stuff in between, right? So Nancy, are you more concerned about selling the house, having this house sell on its own? Or are you more concerned about making sure that you're hiring the right agent for the job of selling your home that has the experience and the know-how to navigate such a tumultuous market? Is that important to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So what is it that you feel that would be fair based on my experience and when I sell? What do you think that would be fair compensation? So here's what I did, Nancy. I don't want to be the one bringing up the number. I want you bringing up the number.
Right.
Right. You've already set the stage. Now what you want to do is go into, let's be fair.
Right.
Anyone ever be in a position where you're talking to someone and you feel like you're getting duped? It's not a good feeling. Have you ever been in a position where you feel like the other person thinks that you're duping them? So when you bring up the language of being fair from a subconscious point of view, kind of an NLP point of view, and then you say, look, I want to be fair. What is it that you feel based on my experience on selling, you know, if you're Dale Chima, selling 1 million homes in Irvine, what is it about my experience? What do you think that would be fair? And find out where they're at. You might be on different planets. Well, I think it's fair to do 3%. Well, that's interesting. You know, I'm at 6%. You mind if I ask how you came up with that number? It's an honest question. I really want to know how my value proposition gets you to think that I'm a discount at Walmart. Really want to know that. And you can throw some humor in there. That one probably wouldn't have gone over well. So anyways, but that's what for sell by owners, guys. You guys know that I role play like daily. So we're always working on these.
Well, let me share a story with you, Brett, if I may.
Sure.
I had a similar situation last week. A client, and we listed the home for 2.2 million up in Lemon Heights. We had it for 2.1 in November and it didn't sell. So this guy is, you know, he's written books on negotiating. He's written 12 books, one of them just on negotiating. So he feels he's a pretty good negotiator. I got the listing for 5%. We put it on last Monday. By Friday, it sold for 2.25. So yesterday he called me as he's signing the escrow instructions. And he said, Dale, I should have listened to you. I noticed you're getting 2.5 and the other agent is getting 2.5. And I think you're worth 3. And I'm changing your commission.
Wow.
Never had that happen in 36 years. It happened yesterday.
I've never had that happen.
It's never over till it's over. You just never know. If I hadn't have got the listing, I never would have experienced it.
Yeah, that was a tip to ensure prompt service. You sold it so dang quick.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, guys. So how to take and sell more listings. Number 4. Look, let me share my screen again. I don't know if it's being shared again.
We got it.
Don't try to be everything to everybody everywhere. Don't try to be everything to everybody everywhere. You want to know the hardest way that actually take a listing is go up into Ventura and try to take a listing, or into LA, or up into Rancho Cucamonga, or drive down to San Diego. Look, we're looking at the numbers here. We have 244, we have 503 active listings just in Irvine. There are 4,234 active listings in Orange County. There's business being done in our backyard. There is no reason why anybody needs to put 100,000 miles on their car. Trust me, I did that in 1 year. But what we do need to do is we need to identify a primary market area. A primary market area has a geographic component to it. You have to know who your ideal client is. You know, people who, like me, who have two young children in elementary school, have different needs and are attracted to different things than somebody who may be an empty nester and their kids are off to college, right? So know who your who your not just your primary market area, but who is your ideal client. They call it an avatar. And then start creating content and start becoming the expert that appeals to them. It's not you just being the awesome realtor. Nobody can be the awesome, you know how many #1 realtors there are in Orange County. It's probably like 10,000 number one realtors. Everyone's number one. It's called puffery. Except Del Chima, right? You can say he's number one. I love
I
Dale
don't.
being on here.
I don't, but you're right. Number one, I see them in my neighborhood. Number one in customer service. Number one in that. Number one in that. Everybody is number one in some way.
I think he can be like Jeff and just make up his own designation.
Absolutely. That's how you do it. I'm
Just
number
start
one in my
putting-
household.
Guys, just start putting some letters after your name. ABC, GRI, buy a vowel. So anyways, so don't try to be everything to everybody. Niche down. Be the expert. Now, how do you become the expert? Preview the neighborhoods. Know everything about the neighborhoods. Know about everything about the amenities of the neighborhood. Know all the school district. How good are the schools? Know the services. Where's the closest restaurant, gas station? Know all of that. And then how good is information if you don't share it? See, that's the difference here from when I got into real estate 23 years ago versus now. The difference is that when you obtain knowledge, the only way that you could showcase your knowledge is by having a conversation. If you create that video, some of you may see the new recruiting site that we've done for the office. And I got to tell you, it has changed everything in as far as allowing people to get to know who we are and our culture because of the way that the consumer journey is now in 2021 versus when I got into the business. Everybody wants information. So you need to be that person. You need to be generating content, valuable content that speaks to the real estate market, that speaks to your ideal client and in your area. Dell and I were talking yesterday about the difficulties of certain brands and outsiders to break into a coastal real estate market. And our conclusion that we agreed on is that outsiders can't break into these uber ultra luxury coastal markets. They shun you. It's like a club. Now that's not the case in general markets, but know your client. I
Hey,
put
Brett.
here what
Brett, one more space that I want to share that you said to share knowledge. One space that definitely you guys should attack is the absentee owner, out of state owner.
Oh, that was
on
on here. No, it's not on here. I had it on there.
No.
I had
That's
it.
why I'm bringing that up. But that's a great one because an out of state investor, usually you'll get maybe 2 or 3 transactions out of it, especially if you're doing 1031 exchange. You're selling their property, and you got to go find replacement properties.
Well,
So
guys,
it's multiple transactions.
Yeah, and let's talk about that. I mean, let's talk about knowing your market and knowing who you're talking to. You have a non-owner occupied out of state. You have an out of state non-owner occupied. Okay, what that breaks down to translates, that's someone who owns a rental property that doesn't live in California. Now, if you guys were here last Tuesday when we started talking about the forbearance programs and the mortgage moratorium, do you guys think that there are maybe some out of state homeowners that are rich in equity that have no clue what's going on in California that would like to just stop the bleeding and just get out of this situation? Have a mortgage payment coming due all the time. They have all this equity, but they have a mortgage payment coming due and they don't have any income coming in. Do you think that there are some people out there like that? So how do we, and this kind of ties into knowing your market, okay? Know where their rental property is, but also knowing who the avatar is. Investor, out of state, find them. Now, we don't know if they want to sell. We don't know if the renter is paying their rent. We're only going to know that if we reach out to them and ask them, right? If you talk to 10 of those a day, and Mary and Jeff can both get you that list, but let's say you talk to 10 of those a day, or let's say you do 10 voicemails a day, 5 days a week, that's 50 a week, times 4 weeks. That's 200 opportunities that you've reached out to with somebody out of state that owns property that they probably have no idea what's going on. Do you think if you just work the law of numbers that if you left, let's just say nobody answers the phone, and we know that 1 out of 3 typically answers the phone, depending, but let's just say nobody answers the phone and you left 200 unique voicemails, you think you might get a call back? See, I know that you'll get a call back because I'm not going to share too much what Nancy does, but that's kind of something that she does with certain things. Every sales trainer that I know of, when telephone prospecting, they tell people not to leave messages. And if you look at the way that people communicate nowadays, the way that the consumer journey is, I don't know about you guys, but if an unidentified number, look, every single important phone number or possible important phone number will show up in my phone. And anything that doesn't show up goes to my voicemail. Now, I may not answer the call, but the voicemail is now turned into a text, so I can read what they said or I'll listen to it. You guys do the same thing? Leave messages. So thanks, Jeff. That was a good point. Thanks for bringing that up. Create a video market report on each neighborhood. Here's one of the things that I talk about consistently creating content. I've talked to Natalie about this. I think I've shared this with a few others. Draw a circle around where you live 3 to 5 miles and find out how many active properties are there. Try to find something that has an area that has about 300 properties. Because when things thaw out, and sooner or later it's going to thaw out, we're going to go back to doing some traditional activities like previewing property and open houses and such, right? Skate to where the puck is going to be. But choose 4 neighborhoods. You can choose any 4 except Woodbury, because that's Dale's. Any
Woodbury.
4. Just kidding, Natalie. I know that you live
Woodbridge.
in Woodbury too.
Woodbridge,
Oh,
not
Woodbridge.
Woodbury.
Sorry. I downgraded. Woodbridge. Woodbury, Woodbridge, North Park Square, Estates. I mean, classic. It's like I can't keep them all together. You know this, Dale, because you were here when the first house was built.
I'm actually coaching Natalie to farm against me.
You take half the money anyways.
My granddaughter needs shoes.
So do I.
Okay, so where was I at with that? Oh, so choose 4 neighborhoods and come up with a weekly micro market report. Nobody cares what's going on in all of California, right? They care what's going on in Orange County. They really don't care what's going on in Orange County. They care about Irvine. And they really don't care about what's going on in Irvine. They want to know what's going on in their neighborhood. So everybody that you're watching, and I know that you guys are all on Facebook watching everybody else, everybody is doing a general approach. Hey, let me talk to you about what's going on in California or Orange County. It's too big. It's too macro. You cannot be the area specialist in Orange County, but you can be the area expert within a 3-mile radius, and you can choose 4 neighborhoods that you can now go on. Week 1, I do a market report for this neighborhood. In week 2, I do it for this neighborhood. For week 3 and week 4, this neighborhood, and then rinse and repeat each and every month. At the end of the year, you'll have 52 video micro reports that showcases your experience. Now you take that into what Sky's going to be teaching with the 66 point command challenge, and you start building out landing pages where in your video, you now redirect people that can download a neighborhood report. And now you're going to start generating organic leads. And not just organic leads, which is great, organic local leads. Anyone want organic local leads? I just mapped it out for you guys. Dale, you don't need organic local leads. Okay, now that's really the list of all of this. Dale, Nancy, anyone want to chime in on any ideas to take and sell more properties
Brett,
instead of going to bed?
I wanted to piggyback on something you said, and maybe this is more of a question for Jeff and Mary. My understanding is that there's an algorithm out there that can tell us who is more likely to sell. And maybe that in our farms, that's who our agents need to focus on.
We actually have that tool through the CRMLS. I'm sure Jared,
They do?
I'm sure that that Mary and Jeff both have that with their respective title companies.
There's all sorts of different ways that different companies advertise it, but essentially it comes down to them looking at the recent sellers and seeing what components, what made them a seller, and matching them up with similar criteria of the current owners. But yes, we absolutely do, both Jeff and myself.
Remine. It's this one right here. Remine.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'll tell you
Yes.
what.
Couple of key factors to look at. I mean, length of time in the home. You know, you get the people that are in there over 20 years. You get 2-story homes where they want to downsize. You get equity place where they have over 30% equity. I mean, those are the main factors right there. And then now you can start doing your pitch on that. You know, you want to downsize. You got all the equity in your home. Let's take that and move. You know, and also transfer your tax base also. So those are the factors right there.
So guys, while you guys are on here, I want to show you guys something. So this is the screen that everybody just probably just breezes through when you guys are on your MLS. Few things. I use InfoSparks often. You guys should know how to use InfoSparks.
Share your screen.
Jeff, don't yell at me. You're so aggressive.
InfoSparks, there it is.
All right. So InfoSparks. This is where I get all the data when I start talking to you guys about the numbers. You can actually, break it down by county, city. You can also do, you can outline a certain area and just pull the stats for that. Awesome group. OC Stats is another awesome tool. I don't have my login and password, otherwise I'd show it to you, but it all the stats that we have, it puts it straight from the MLS, and you can break it down to the neighborhood, and you can see how many new listings. So these micro market reports that we're talking about, you don't have to recreate anything. It's already created here if you just utilize the tools and then just turn the actual report into a free download if they want to go and request a download, right? Lead generation. The other one is, anyone here use, except me, the Realtor RPR? This one right here. Tom does. This gives you the ability to push literally a few buttons and create a 20, 30, 40, 50 page report on a neighborhood. It provides you with demographics. It provides you with the walking score, provides you with everything. So when I started talking to you guys about going out and creating a video on a neighborhood and then allowing the consumer to download a free report, this is what it is. You don't have to recreate it. You just have to pitch it, and you have to get it up and doing it, and you just have to do it consistently. So a lot of cool tools here. Realist is cool as I think we all use that. Line Desk, I think Command's better than Line Desk. Yeah, but there's a lot of good resources here. The key is that we got to focus on listings. We've got to focus on listings. Buyers don't matter if there's not something to buy. There's nothing worse than having no buyers, than having a dozen buyers that have a loan that have no ability to go up higher in price right now. Adjust your qualification criteria. I think Dale sold a property, a cash property. And didn't you say that didn't you say you had an offer for $50,000 more and they took the
We
cash
did
offer?
from Cream in the office.
Yeah.
It sold for 100,000 offer, but we had an offer 150,000 from one of our own agents in the office. But my seller felt it was never going to appraise, so he went with the cash offer.
See, Benny, and approval is not the same as cash, buddy. We love you guys.
It can be, buddy. Come on. Hey, one thing I was going to say is, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Sounds like you're in a tunnel.
Oh. In all the years of doing this, I'm sure Tina would agree with me, I've never seen so many fly-by-night realtors on the other side of a transaction that I'm doing for purchases right now. And I feel that for you guys, what an opportune time to start going after an area like you're talking about, Brett, right now. Because I don't know a lot of these people. I don't even know where they're coming from right now. Your normal agents that are farming in there are not nowhere to be found, but there's not a lot of inventory. So this is the greatest time to start, fine-tuning your skills, knowing your neighborhood, and start marketing yourself now.
Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of end things, guys, because we're right there at the 1 o'clock mark. When we look at these numbers right here, let me go back to that page that I had. When we look at these numbers right here, and we see closed sales, active listings down 17%. What that means is that you need to adjust your business by 17% to break even. You either need to, because if you just do the same thing that you did in the last 12 months in the next 12 months, your business is going to adjust with the market. So you need to make up 17 points somewhere, either by expanding your market area by 17%. You know, as much as I hate it, expanding your work ethic by 17%, increasing your lead generation by 17%. And if you want to grow, by God, I mean, you're going to have to increase it by 30, 35%. Now, if you're already working 12, 14 hours a day and you throw another 35 points, that's not going to jive. So really where you have to get dialed in on the efficiency. So the things that we're doing that Dale and I have talked about as he took over the OP is to start helping our agents increase their efficiencies, get the command online, get lead generation out there, help you start generating leads, but then also work on your skills so you can start converting those leads. It's not that cool having 100 leads. What's cool about having 100 leads is if you're converting 90 of them and not sending ways. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. I'm getting off my soapbox. So tune in, same time, same channel next Tuesday. You guys have an awesome day. Reach out if any of us can help you with anything. Take
Thanks,
care.
Brett.
everyone.
Thank you, Brett. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Take care,
Brett.
guys.